Now Lieutenant Andrew Demers tries to rescue a jealous man from his own demise.
The most frightening thing for a cop is when he finds himself in a situation where the rules don't work and the clock is ticking. Sometimes the people who are causing harm can be talked to, but there's also those that aren't playing by any rules, and certainly not yours.
Colonel of the Maine State Police will undergo a mental exam to determine if he is competent to stand trial on charges he sexually assaulted a 4-year-old child. A lawyer for Andrew Demers says a judge approved his request that he be examined. The exam has not been scheduled yet. Demers was indicted last spring on charges of gross sexual assault and unlawful sexual contact. Demers served 26 years with the Maine State Police, retiring in 1993.
Ex-Maine State Police Chief pleads guilty to sex assault, and he'll serve 4 years. Andrew Demers Jr. is sentenced to 5 years in prison with the final year suspended on a charge of unlawful sexual contact. And he's a 26-year veteran, twice named Trooper of the Year. He pleaded guilty to sexual contact. One of the most highly decorated police officers in Maine's history was sentenced Tuesday to 4 years in prison for sexually assaulting a 4-year-old child. Andrew Demers Jr., the former chief of the Maine State Police, broke down sobbing at one point during the sentencing at the Cumberland County Courthouse, wiping tears from his eyes many times after he entered a plea of guilty to a felony charge of unlawful sexual contact. Superior Court Justice Thomas Warren sentenced Demers to 5 years with the final year to be suspended, while Demers serves 3 years probation term. The judge also ordered Demers to pay $5,000 restitution to pay for past and future counseling for the child. Demers' arrest on March 17th shocked the state's law enforcement community, many of whom had considered him a model officer. Demers is the only officer in Maine history to be twice named the State Police Trooper of the Year and was named Legendary Trooper in 2003. He served 26 years with the state police and held the department's top position from 1987 to 1993 when he retired. As Warren issued his sentence, he rejected a claim by Demers' clinical psychologist that Demers' actions were out of character and may have been the result of neurological damage from post-traumatic stress from decades of police service. Crimes like this come from a dark place within a person that are often buried deep within and unknown, Warren said at the end of the 3-hour hearing. The courtroom was filled with Demers' family members and supporters, many of whom spoke on his behalf or submitted letters attesting to his exemplary character. At the side of the courtroom, the child's parents sat silently near Cumberland County District Attorney Stephanie Anderson, who prosecuted the case and asked for a sentence of 8 years. Before he was arrested, Demers admitted to investigators to assaulting the child multiple times. State police first received a tip about the alleged crimes on March 10th and referred the matter to the district attorney, who asked the sheriff's office to investigate. Anderson said in her 34 years practicing criminal law, she has made thousands of sentencing recommendations, but found Demers' case to be one of the hardest. This is not something I take lightly at all, because Colonel Demers was my hero too, Anderson said, but later she added, there's no evidence of diminished mental capacity. That's why I say we have a child molester here. Anderson read emotional letters from the parents of the victim, although they did not stand to address the court themselves. He took my little girl's innocence from us, the child's mother wrote in the statement. Demers' attorney, Walker McGee, argued that his 74-year-old client has already been punished seriously since his arrest, with a ruined reputation and a heartache, and the heartache his actions have brought on his family. And he is, by every single account, the last person that anyone ever expected would be involved in an offense like this. And this alone speaks volumes about who Andy is, as he has lived his life in a way that his farthest cry from behavior at issue here than one can imagine. McGee wrote, there are also very real significant concerns about Andy's safety while incarcerated, and custody of the Department of Corrections. Indeed, they don't like child molesters in jail even. The judge rejected McGee's request that Demers be allowed to serve a lesser sentence in the Cumberland County Jail instead of prison, but allowed him a 1-week delay before beginning his sentence on November 11th. Demers broke down sobbing as his adult granddaughter spoke at the hearing about how his actions have affected their family. He spoke through tears as he stood to address the court, pulling a handkerchief from his suit coat to wipe his eyes. "Your Honor, since my arrest I have been torn with shame," Demers said. He did not answer reporters' questions when he walked out of the courtroom afterwards with family members. Demers pleaded guilty as part of an agreement reached by McGee and Anderson, in which more serious Class A felony charge of gross sexual assault was dismissed. He could have faced up to 30 years on that charge, so he got off extremely light, I would say. District Attorney's Office and McGee arranged for Demers to turn himself in at the county jail.